Hi folks, this is Dr. Don. I'm going to spend some time here and do a walkthrough of the Lab 5 remix. And I think once you see this walkthrough, it should help you quite a bit. The process we're setting up here is to use the Downey infer process for doing hypothesis test. And as we discuss in the overview to Lab 5 and in the Lab 5 Rehearse 1, the Downey process simplifies, believe it or not, how you would approach doing tests for hypothesis into a standard process. So you use the same process every time. And that's what we're doing here. But let me start. This is the way I like to set up my workspace. I close all the windows and tabs, and I've just got one window open here, and I've got three tabs. I've got my PositCloud Lab 5 Workspace open there. I've got the Lab 2 Rehearse 2, since in this case we're just using Rehearse 2. That's the one that has the two example problems, two types of test hypotheses. We've got example 1, which is the difference in two means. We've got two groups, and we have means on a quantitative variable, and we want to see if those means are significantly different, so that the data in the sample, we could then make an inference back to the population that we're trying to represent that yes or no, there is a difference in the two means. The other example is the test for correlation between two quantitative variables. Now I'm just going to walk you through example 1 in the remix, but it's the same process as you'll see for all of the various types of hypothesis tests we do in the rest of the course. Module 6, Module 7, and then in Module 8, your personal data project. We jump back here to PositCloud, and I like to get set up. I move these things around to give me a lot of room so I can see the entire workspace here. I've minimized the console down here. And I like to have open the outline. Click on this tab, and you can see there it gives you all the steps that are in your document, so you can jump to them pretty doggone quickly. And I've scrolled down here. The other thing that I like to do when I'm trying to read these worksheets, I want to make it look like the web page. So I will use the visual mode, and you can click back and forth between source and visual. It'll give you this message. Do you want to use it? Yes. I'm going to click on that. You can click off if you don't want to see it again. And now when I scroll down, you can see this is much more readable, and it will look a lot like the actual remix page. The only difference is that the menu items are over here on the left side on the actual web page, and then here in PositCloud, the menu is over here on the right side. But this will help you, I think, understand what's going on. First thing it says to do is load the packages. We want to copy the code from Lab 5 Rehearse 2 CC3. So I'm going to go over here to Lab 5 Rehearse 2, and there's my CC3. I'm just going to copy that code, go into my PositCloud, find that space, and put your cursor below the comment. Remember, if you've got code after one of these pound signs, R won't read it. So make sure you're careful where you put the code. And then I just Control V to paste that in there, and then we'll run that code to install those packages. Generally, for everything we do in these tests for hypothesis, we just need two packages. Sometimes we have another one that we'll have in there, but we always need the tidyverse and the infer packages. So I've run that. Now here is the assignment. And since I've got this on the visual view, I can just read it there. We're going to use the rural health data, and it says the code in Lab 5 Rehearse 2 CC4 will read in a CSV file from the /data folder. I've seen a lot of students miss that. Over here in our workspace, this is if you look at the path, this is a /cloud/project, and this is the basic workspace right here. But if we want to get to a file that's in the data folder, then we've got to add something to the path, and that's this /data. So I'm going to go on down here, and I'm going to put my cursor where I want that, and I want to go over here. Let's see, it tells me again, CC4 on rehearse 2. So I'm going to go back here to rehearse 2, go down to CC4, and we give you some guidance here about what to change and what not to change. So those we're going to change the name to the new data object, this SAT GPA that we're going to create. We're going to create something different. We're going to change the name of the data file, this SAT underscore GPA, to our new one. And then your data file must be in the data folder. That's that /data. And there you can see we've got data in the path. So I'm just going to copy that, move it over here to my POSIT Cloud, paste it in. Again, make sure I'm not behind the pound sign. And I need to change some things. I'm going to pause this and edit it. Okay, I've edited the file. Up here we've got instructions that says make it name rural underscore health, and then the name of the data file is capital rural underscore capital H underscore capital data. And that's what I've got here. And I've got the path in there to the data folder. So now I can just run that code, and we can see over here we've got our data object there. And again, if we click on the name, we can look at the data and we can inspect it a bit. Here we can see we've got our columns, which are variables. There's metro, non-metro, which is the one we're going to be using a lot. And then we've got the obesity %, and that's one of the variables that we may be using. And again, make a note in your notepad how that's spelled. Obesity underscore %, no caps. Metro underscore non-metro, no caps. Those are my two variables. And then I can look here. This is a categorical variable. I've got metro, non-metro. And you might want to scan down, sometimes pop around there. And there we go. But if you scroll around, you can see the levels there, or you can use a code if you want to. But anyway, the levels are metro and non-metro. So I'm going to pause again here. I'm going to scroll on down here, and we've got inspect the data, which we just did. And then we need to describe the variable. So you would look back at that file and describe those. What are the variables? And if they're categorical, how many levels? You'll have to look around in that worksheet a bit to get that. So just type your answer here. My answers, and type it in. Okay, so we've got research questions, and we're supposed to pick one of the following two research questions. The first one is there a difference in the mean obesity rate between metro and non-metro counties? So that is a difference in means between two groups. The second question is there a correlation between a county's obesity rate and its leisure inactivity percentage? So we've got, again, the two quantitative variables, obesity rate and leisure inactivity percentage. We pick one of those questions to answer. And for this example, I'm going to pick, is there a difference in the mean obesity rate between metro and non-metro counties? And if I go back and look at my rehearse, I've got two examples. Difference in two means, test for correlation. I'm going to use the example one, difference in two means, as my go by. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video here, and I'll take this up again in the next video that we'll dig in a little bit deeper. So hang on, we're going to get through this.